Howdy guys, l0lergy here and welcome to my opinion piece video. For those of you who are unfamiliar with these types of videos, it's just me talking about at times a controversial issue or just something that gives a good thought-provocative discussion, as I like to post these in community forums. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So this video's topic is what's next for RuneScape. This of course can be met with some controversial discussion, so let me say this is my opinion piece. You may not agree, you may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. So just keep that in mind while you're watching this video. So RuneScape is, I guess, in the latter ends of its lifespan. That's not to say it's dying, I mean more it's not as popular as it once was. There are a few main reasons for this, and I think those reasons hold the underpinning method of returning RuneScape back to vibrance. RuneScape was made in a time where grindy gameplay and bad visuals were the norm. This in time, of course, through better advancements in technology, allowed games to evolve. But RuneScape started to fall behind. This is partly due to the engine it was developed on, seen my other video on that, and the mindset that came with creating games of that era. RuneScape was made back in the day for people who didn't quite have the best computers. That's partly what made it so popular. Little effort was needed to be done to play it, and the people who got started hooked easily as there weren't many games like it, at least in a browser. However, over the years, the game industry has changed a lot. I can't even quantify that. A lot. Gaming styles that were once popular began to crumble and pave the path for newer genre games. However, RuneScape still had something special about it and a very unique hook on the industry, and today I still think it's there to some degree. RuneScape has kept up in the industry to the best of its ability, I think. However, the ability that RuneScape possesses can really only get it so far. If the game is to stay popular in the years to come, then things will obviously need to change. You need to ask the question, do I want a game that's had a long lifespan to eventually fade away with current trends, or do I want something that drastically changes that can project RuneScape back to the level it once was? So with this in mind, I think, what's next for RuneScape? Is it a continuation along the path it's on, or is it a drastic change with an inherited risk that can propel it back into fruition? If they follow the current path, they need to expand the game more than just having it on the confines of a PC web browser. RuneScape, I think, is a game that could flourish on tablets. Maybe not so much for the endgame PVM, but the accessibility that everyone has to a tablet was along the lines of what PC gaming used to be. It would really suit the general mundane sort of tasks that RuneScape has with it, that you could play when you're on your couch or something, and then you could probably come back to your PC when you want to do hardcore PVMing. That's something they should consider, and actually I do think they are, because I do see in their looking for applications thing someone who has a technical background with tablets. However, they could take a risk. I know some people here or whoever views this video are quite happy with how RuneScape is at the moment and wouldn't have any qualms or quarrels with it progressing along the path it is at the moment with just updates regularly and still keeping the game as it is now. However, what I'd like to see is Jagex actually take that risk. They take a risk that can put RuneScape into a grave, or one that can allow it to breathe fresh life again. The old saying, I'd rather burn out than fade away, really applies here. The game could make the transition from a browser-based game into a fully fleshed out client with an almost reinvention of the game. Take the best things that oh7 has to offer and RS3 and combine them to perfection. An example of that game I can envision from a mindset is sort of a RuneScape with much needed tweaks to like mundane AFK skills, yes I'm looking at you agility, on the Skyrim engine. Of course, we can only dream of something like that. Well, in fact, it's sort of almost becoming a reality now. There is a guy who is creating RuneScape on the Skyrim engine as a mod. I think he only has Tutorial Island done at the moment, but you can have a quick Google and find that YouTube video. And really, in my mind, that's sort of a game that I'd love to see them do. Of course, not exactly like that, but you know, that sort of philosophy with first person in a medieval era like that. I've seen hints from popular YouTubers and websites alike that Jagex are actually working on a couple new games. At RuneFest, they did have a play testing for private games where select few people got to play and not talk about it. Hopefully one of these can actually be the birth of the above brainchild. There's also advertisements on their actual Jagex company website looking for people to work on new and defining MMO. So we could be in some luck here. They could be working on something. However, it could just be them porting to tablets. Who knows? We'll soon find out, but I hope it is what I think. So you ask, why do this? Why add all these extra people? Why spend this much money? Why risk our new game being a flop? Well, as I said above, I'd rather have a game burn out than fade away. RuneScape can only last so long, just the same with any other game in this industry. Fresh bread soon becomes stale in the video game industry, and even a game that's been active for 10 years truly is a remarkable feat. But even the best of games still succumb to this fate. You don't even need to look far. With World of Warcraft at the moment, its subscriber numbers have dropped huge, purely because it hasn't been able to keep up with an evolution of the market. The player base has gone from roughly 13 million to 7, and that game is huge. Almost the genre defining game, probably still is. So even the best of games can still succumb to this fate, and that's why sometimes change is necessary. And even so, the longer your game's dragged out, the more drastic the change. If you've just released a game, you probably don't need to mix it up too much with updates in the first couple of years. But if your game miraculously does make that 10-year mark, then your deviation really needs to change. Your game needs to reinvigorate its life again, because people will get bored of it very quick. So I guess what I'm saying with all this is I expect Jagex in the near future to really drop the hint of what direction they're going to go. Are they going to continue along the path they're at now, or are they going to deviate and try something new? That's truly what I believe is next for RuneScape. We won't know that decision until the time comes, but there have been hints that they're trying to take the latter. So with that, guys, that's really the end of the video. If you like these sorts of videos, please don't hesitate to subscribe, rate, like, and comment, and do all that sort of fun stuff. It is nice to see at the end of the day the videos sort of gaining popularity. Just a bit of an update on the channel if you do stay to the end. I am working on my hardcore Iron Man account, and that is quite time consuming, I guess. It is taking up most of my time. I'm around 800 total level, and we have another video out on that tomorrow. I'll also continue on with my 1 to 99 guides, not so much Slayer guides or anything of the sort. So stay tuned for that, guys. And thanks for watching, and have a good day.